During this meditation, I will lead you towards letting go of the autopilot mode of consciousness and connecting to one aspect of your authentic self, and using the power of this connection to face and overcome hard situations. You can use this meditation as a stop on your self-development journey or as a tool to get empowered when facing a high-stake challenge. Relax and let go of the analytical function of your mind. Choose to open up to evoking experiences through memory. Also, choose to embrace the fact that yourself is a fluid concept, which is in an endless state of transformation. I guide you towards choosing just one personal experience of authenticity from your past. And in meditation, you will use this experience to form a power mantra that you can use to reconnect to your authentic self and empower yourself in hard situations whenever needed. We will use a story from your life where you had already experienced the state of authenticity. In other words, bringing your whole self to the situation helped you to make a change. And now, through imagination, guide your consciousness to an open space where you can see a well. You arrive at the opening of that well. And now imagine that you fall inside. It's dark. It's uncomfortable. You're falling and falling and falling and falling, going deeper and deeper and deeper. And you arrive at the bottom of the well. You're not hurt, but you're trapped at the bottom. And for the time being, it's impossible for you to escape. Bring your consciousness back to a memory in your life journey where you faced a problem to which first you thought there is no solution, but later on you solved it. So choose one that has two parts: the impossible problem and the solution. And now we're focusing on the problem part. And evoke the feelings you felt at that time. Let yourself into those feelings. Allow those feelings to take control of you temporarily. Feel the feelings. Let the feelings and emotions flow through you. Now notice your thoughts you were experiencing in the dark part of that memory. What were your thoughts? Can you evoke some thought patterns? What were they? You may also repeat them in your head. Now let's evoke the bodily sensations you felt at that time. What did you feel? In what part of your body? Can you remember a certain posture you were in at that moment? Imagine that you take up that posture. Okay, now remember your actions at that time. Can you remember a certain action that characterized that moment? What was it? And finally, words. Can you remember some words that you said or didn't say at that time? What were those words? Say them out in your mind. Okay, now imagine that you find a piece of stone there at the bottom of the well. Imagine that you write on a piece of stone a summary of your memories evoked. What were the feelings? What were the thoughts? What were the bodily sensations? What were the actions? And what were your words? Now look at this piece of stone and ask yourself, if I don't make a change, if I stay with this state of being, if I stay being ruled by the dark side, where would all this take me? Where would these feelings take me to? Where would these thoughts take me to? Where would these bodily sensations take me to? Where would these actions take me to? And where would these words take me to? Where would all these take you to without making a change? Now, let's focus on your strength in that hard situation, and we're gonna continue the meditation by focusing on your inner power that helped you to change the course of action. We're gonna identify some of your inner strength, and we're gonna look for strength that you were born with, or strength that you were given by life, or maybe hard-earned strength that you really had to fight for. Importantly, we're not gonna look for strength that depend on other people's opinion or judgment. So the question is, what are your strengths in that story? When your story turned from wrong to right, what was the feeling that helped you to make that change? Evoke that feeling in you. Allow yourself into the feeling. Let yourself be filled up with the power of the feeling, and stay with it for a while. Where are your strengths? Where are your strengths? Now find a helping thought that helped you to make even the worst a little bit bearable. What was one important helping thought in that moment? Evoke that thought and say it out loud in your mind. Now identify a bodily sensation that charged you up with energy in the turning point of the story. Where does that sensation come from? And where is that sensation in your body? Does it connect to a posture? If yes, imagine to take that posture now. Where are your strengths? Now evoke an action that showed to others why you are special in that story. What is that action? Where are your strengths? Find an aspect of the story when you felt that your words convey power. Can you evoke those words? Repeat them in your mind. Now let's take stock of the powers that you found within you in the turning point stage of the story, when you turn things from bad to good, from wrong to right. What were the feelings? What were the thoughts? What were the bodily sensations? What were the actions? And what were the words? And now it's time for you to make a change. Now you have connected to some important elements of your state of authenticity, the state of being internally driven, powered by your inner powers. These powers are always with you. Repeat in your mind, these powers are always with me. I can live the state of empowerment in any moment of my life. I just have to recognize these powers and connect to them. Now choose to connect to the change-making thoughts. Feel that you think your change-making thoughts again. Feel that you're sinking into their vibe. Feel that you are filled up by their power. Feel that these change-making thoughts break down your limiting thoughts and beliefs. Feel that you're making a change. Feel that you are in the role of the change maker and not in the role of a subservient person. You thrive. Okay, now connect to your change-making words. These words have power. These words break down walls. These words break down barriers. And these words are strongly grounded in your inner truth. These words showcase your strength. These words position you as an equal partner. And these words have the power to be your voice in any high-stake challenge situation. May this situation occur in your work or in your private life. Now connect to the bodily state and the gestures you lived in the change-making moment. When you made a change, your body was filled with energy. You were energized. You were powerful. You played the winner. You were the dominant party. You were in the lead. Others followed. So choose to take up the posture you were in when you made the change. And stay with that posture and enjoy the experience of being the winner, the dominant, the leader in that situation. You are filled with energy. You are vibrating with a change-making vibe. You're synced to change-making thinking. And this experience will always be with you. You can always reconnect to this experience. You can use this experience to overcome any hardship in your future life. Now let's finish the meditation. Command your consciousness back into the space where your body is. Reconnect your consciousness with your body. Let's take 3 healing breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Get ready to open your eyes. You're charged with energy. You're ready to face the next big challenge of your journey in life. Open your eyes and let's end the meditation. Thank you.